And welcome everyone to Style Esports Season 10 playoffs here. We're finally able to get a game on stream. Rare Adam alongside Proxio here as we've got Stun Gaming Cosmic facing off against Ragnarok Esports Freya here in our U1800 Demacia division. And Proxio, glad to have you on the stream with us today.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. We're already kind of into this picking bands, and we're already seeing the Jinx first hover for the side of Sun Gaming, and I'm a Jinx, definitely one of the high S tier champions on this patch right now. She's been dominating the meta. You've been seeing her everywhere. She's getting excited. She's been getting resets, and definitely first pickable, and an ADC that's going to be a good option for the side of Sun Gaming.
For sure, really curious to see how this is going to work out. Of course, going to get locked in by Stunned Gaming Cosmic. Of note here, Ragnarok Esports Freya coming in here as the first seed in the Demacia division here. Stunned Gaming Cosmic as the fourth seed, but recently coming off of some victories in some other leagues that I happen to cast for. So Stunned Gaming Cosmic, they're on a little bit of a winning high right now, whereas from what we've heard from Proxio here, Ragnarok Esports, they're on another little bit of a high as well in terms of their winning ways.
Yeah, and I'm definitely looking at, seeing this jungle, and I was just about to mention it. Red Malai Kofta has been looking really good on these jungle picks and, putting them on a Hecarim, Caitlyn. Again, more S tier champions. I'm really liking these both sides drafts currently right now, picking these really contested champions in the draft right now. Caitlyn, another powerful pick into the bot lane. Hecarim, super powerful. But the answer that we're going to maybe see out of Stun Gaming Cosmic is this Volibear potentially into the jungle or into the top lane. I do not mind Volibear into an Hecarim because he has some ways of denying his... Oh, and Vigar's perfect. He has ways to stun him from getting in. Once Hecarim tries to get in there, Volibear point and clicks, just gets his little stun off on him, and it stops Hecarim doing everything that he wants to do, which is, he wants to start spinning around your team, running around and all that. So I really do like the side of the Volibear here, and Volibear Vigar, you got the double Vs. Vigar, another great option to the Hecarim. So good counter picks, I would say, for the side of Sun Gaming Cosmic, and we'll have to see again the answer, and the answer's another S tier champion, the Victor in the mid lane. We could see this Vigar potentially flexed into the bot side, but not really sure if Sun Gaming Cosmic is big branding it that much,
Yeah, to sort of give a little bit of insight as well, Dare is using the Veigar icon right now, so I think we can just assume that it's going into the mid lane there. But of course, Stunned Gaming Cosmic coming in with the Volibear that can still be flexed around, but yes, that Veigar into the mid lane against the Victor here. So curious to see how this all will work out. Of note, you can look at the bans here where they are really targeted. The side of Ragnarok Esports Freya did ban out that Trundle Lux Kled as well as the Set and the Yuumi here, whereas on the flip side, Vladimir, Amumu, Dr. Mundo, and now Camille coming through as the bans. So a lot of more pocket picks getting banned out here. I mean, the only real standout de facto bans that you can say considering the meta could be that Trundle, maybe even the Camille. All of these seem to be more so comfort bans as opposed to things that are just at the top of the meta, thus giving way to picks like this Jinx, this Caitlyn, this Victor, this Hecarim to get picked up by these two teams.
Yeah, definitely, and we see the Renata Glass pickup here. Definitely a topside focus in the series right now. We're seeing a lot of top laners being banned out, and nobody really, one thing I'm seeing in common with majority of these top laners, the Set, the Kled, the Aurelia, the Camille, is that they're very engage-heavy champions. So it's looking like Freya really doesn't want to get engaged on with their composition. They want to be able to choose their engages with this Hecarim, potentially get a pick with Renata Glass, and when they're trying to go for these engage compositions, I was thinking for a second that Sun Gaming Cosmic was going to go a little bit more engage heavy, have the Predator on Vigar with Volibear, but after seeing this Janna, it doesn't look like that's the case. They're trying to dissuade all the engage. They're just trying to sit back, put the York in the top lane and let him split push. Love to see a York. York heavily underrated, but after we're seeing all these top lane bans, there's some unique picks that are going to be allowed here. We already see the S tier champions come out, the Jinx, the Caitlyn, the Victor, the Hecarim. But now, since there's, we're getting to the lower parts of the draft, we get to see interesting picks like York top, Renata Glass, and we're gonna match into an Aatrox and the York versus Aatrox. Rare Adam, what do you think about this top lane matchup?
I mean, considering the names as well, Stunned Maiden OP up on that top side of the map, you would wonder if they can play that York. And last night, we got to see a great example of that on Radiant Strike, as they did pull out that York top lane. It did do quite well. It was such a split push presence as well here. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out on its own up on that top side. Of course, Aatrox did get some buffs recently, 10% bonus or a 10% buff to that damage in the sweet spots of the Q there, the Darkened Blade. So really going to be some interesting trading tools up there. But yes, the Renata Glass getting picked up here. This is a champion that has been enabled in style for, you know, the last patch, and starting to get enabled in other leagues here. Not a whole lot of information on what this champion really does, because we haven't seen it in pro leagues. We haven't seen it in some other big leagues as well. So very curious champion. We know that she can thrive in the sort of chaos of those team fights, but realistically, there's only one true auto attacker on this side of Stun Gaming Cosmic, who at least will be with the team for most of these fights.
Well, you have to think about Renata's real ultimate, that bailout, the W, being able to Zillion ulti, basically like anybody that's engaging for her team. Her Aatrox, you know, double gets his revive back in a way. And you know, if Aatrox is going forward with a Renata W, or Hecarim's going forward with a Renata W, that's going to be able to potentially get them killed. But we'll have to see if this Janna, Veigar, and Volibear, even the York to some degree. I wouldn't assume York would be in the fights, because you know it's a whole breaker meta. We know where York's going to be. But yeah, we'll have to see if this Janna and this Veigar can stop this Hecarim or this Aatrox really from going forward, and potentially if this York Maiden OP can, you know, use this whole breaker to just, if Aatrox and Hecarim aren't there in the fight, that means it's York's time to go push some turrets and really go take some more turrets down. And that's York's favorite thing, is apparently turrets. He loves killing, he loves dead things and turrets being dead too. So we'll have to see. But for the laning phase, for the York versus Aatrox, York has had a notoriously weak early game, and Aatrox really thrives. You know, 3 Qs, 3 abilities, and basically 1 ability for himself. So Aatrox should be able to do something in this early game, and if York never really gets off the ground, to be able to get his items that he really wants. He wants to get his Hull Breaker, his potential Divine Sunderer in this game. But if he doesn't get off the ground and Aatrox can stop him from doing anything, then you know, that's going to be a huge detriment to the side of Stun Gaming, because they're just going to have to peel it out and play his fights really, really slow. And, you know, Caitlyn and Victor, they don't mind playing a fight slow, get some poke out, and then eventually Hecarim comes in and finishes them off.
Yeah, and of course, the York up on that top side of the map wants to dig as many graves as possible, whether it be of their enemies, of as many minions as possible. Maiden OP also has this really cool thing that they like to do. Try not to reveal too many strategies from what I've seen, but where they just like to solo Baron sometimes. It is a thing that you can do with York, because it's not really soloing it. You've got all of your ghouls, you've got your maiden. It does work out, and there's a really interesting mechanic. I don't know if it's really a mechanic or just a slight oversight, where the ghouls aggroing Baron will keep it aggroed, and it won't regen its health. So you can just throw your ghouls on there while you run down a lane or something, and you technically can do Baron. It will take you about 4 minutes to do it, but, you know, if no one's checking it, if no one's dropping down vision there, you know, it might give you an avenue of approach there. But all jokes aside there with the York, I think that we still need to talk a little bit more about the bot lane here, because we've got this Jinx Janna here. Standard bot lane, I want to say. Caitlyn has been on the receiving end of a couple of nerfs recently, and Renata Glass, a champion that we can't really talk too much about when it comes to how it's meant to interact in some of these lanes. Granted, this might be my first time casting Renata, so I'm going to have to remember what her ability names are. What do you think this laning phase is really going to look like for the side of Ragnus Rocket Esports Freya with this newer support in the bottom lane?
Well, Renata does have a hook on her kit, so, you know, there is potential, but I should mention that Renata's Glass's Q is one of the slowest hooks in the game, actually. It's not faster than Nautilus or Blitzcrank or Thresh. You know, Pike, of course, definitely not faster than any of those hooks. So she does have that option to still potentially land something. You can get it set up. You know, you can land the slow from her E into potential even a Kate Trap, and then you can set up a little bit of a play. But that's counting on the fact that Jinx and Janna aren't moving around. You know, Janna already has the movement speed. Jinx, you know, she has ability to be able to play from a safer range with the rockets. So this bot lane doesn't look like too much action can really happen unless Renata Glass is making it happen. And the Jinx and Janna are kind of misplaying and allowing, not standing behind a minion wave or something like that. So we'll have to see. They do have, it's a range versus range matchup as well. I believe Renana's Glass is auto attack range is 550, so I believe she outranges Janna after her changes to where Janna is auto attack range is like around 500. So they do have a decent range advantage. So we could see if they could poke them out and try to send them under their turret, and then from there they could look for aggressive plays. But I'm really just looking towards Renata being able to use bailout on the Hecarim and Aatrox. I'm sure we're gonna see it, and if they get a kill, they're gonna get that reset of their health bar, and then they're just gonna keep going further. So I do like the Renata Glass with the Hecarim and Aatrox. So favoring Freya's composition this game, I'd say.
So you favor them as a whole. That would be your pick for game one if you're were to potentially be put on the spot with a prediction for game one here, Proxia.
Yep, I will lock it in. I call Freya winning game one.
Okay, so it's going to be Proxia predicting Freya for game one here, but we will find out what the true answer is. Considering we haven't done one of these streams in a while, may open up the channel point redemption for everyone out there to see if you can win some points on your own. But regardless, we're going to take a short break here, and when we're back, we're going to be onto the Rift with game one between Stunned Gaming Cosmic and Ragnarok Esports. Freya, don't go anywhere. You're watching Style Esports.
to Summoner's Rift.
And welcome everyone to Style Esports Season 10 playoffs here with our first playoff game that we've been able to stream here between Stunned Gaming Cosmic and Ragnarok Esports Freya. Of note, the scoreboard's going to look a little bit wonky because we had to remove the top part of our overlay because Riot made it bigger since we last made it.
Yep.
So it is going to be Stunned Gaming Cosmic on your blue side, Ragnarok Esports Freya on your red side. But right out alongside Proxio here as we're getting into our first game that we've been able to stream in like 3 weeks or something. It's been a little bit wild.
Yeah. It feels good to, get something in,
Yeah.
It feels good to be here, got the players. Should be, hopefully, a good match. Again, really liking both these compositions. Looking at runes, not seeing anything too out of the ordinary. Do love to see the phase rush on the Hecarim in the jungle. Renata, actually, I guess it's a good opportunity to take some time to talk about Renata Glass's potential runes that she can take. Glacial Augment has been highly favored. She could take Airy and she could take Guardian from what I've seen. And, Glacial Augment's looking like the more standard, you get the CC and then you could do more after that. Kind of think your Thresh in that sense. More playing around that catch potential rather than the Enchanter potential because she's a little bit of both. And in that way, kind of mirrors Thresh in that way. So, gonna look at these early jungle starts, got both junglers starting on the bot side, a little bit of bot lane trades going on, and good to watch some classic League of Legends. I do actually want to mention for Renata, her passive does max health to jungle camps, I'll say, just objectives. So if you can ever have Renata on an objective, say your dragon, you do it really fast. Like, it's a surprising amount of damage that bonus damage is really good for taking down objectives. So we'll have to see if they contest dragons in this game.
It is bonus percentage health as well, so that's the main reason why. I believe it gets up to like 3% at around level 13, so late game Renata can deal a decent chunk to those objectives and help you take it down quicker, especially when you've got the likes of a Caitlyn, a Hecarim, those who can do some pretty decent damage to those objectives as well. But as it stands right now, Bullet did take that loyalty program as their level 1 rune. Been looking for a little bit of poke here, and thus far it's been working out. As you can see, Lizard and Elevate are already shoved under their tower here as Mono and Bullet been doing a great job shoving in that lane. Meanwhile, on that top side, Porsche getting the better of these trades thus far. Maiden OP, though, will be able to trade back just a little bit. We talked about how Maiden OP here, playing their signature Yorick to an extent here. 1.2 million mastery points on that champion. You don't get that amount of mastery on the champion without, knowing your matchups pretty well.
Yeah, and, just popping some corrupting potions, does have the Q to heal up. When Yorick gets lower, he can heal up a little bit more, and dodging out these Qs and trying to survive this early game. Got the little minions on him, the little ghouls, the little kitty cats to attack force, so getting a little bit of chip damage. And as long as Maiden OP survives this early game, the threatening early game from Aatrox, looking like a good start for Maiden OP in the top side. Bot lane action.
Yeah, as you can see, Lizard actually pulled back by the handshake from Renata Glask there, but the Ignite will not be enough to take him down. You can see Darken on this Volibear on that bottom side of the map, but really not able to contend, so it's going to be the heal and the exhaust burned by the stunned bot lane, whereas Bullet just going to be the one to burn that Ignite. So overall Summoner win for the side of Ragnarok Esports Freya there.
But here comes Darken, and Kofa is right there in the bot lane too. Let's see how this game goes.
Yeah, Kofta is going to be trying to ghost in here, but Darken's way in that back. You can see it's going to be the bailout coming through onto Bullet themselves to stay alive. Red Malai Kofta trying to deal a little bit more damage. Lizard will fall as the little bit of shield that this gen is able to give. It's not going to be enough. Red Buff going to be able to secure that one as Red Malai Kofta able to pick up 2 kills on that bottom side of the map. That one all wrong for the side of Stunned Gaming Cosmic, as that Hecarim very, very fat as Maiden OP forced to flash out. Will also force the flash
from each other, yeah.
From Porsche as well, so my goodness.
That's very good for the side of for Freya, because getting, Koffa just having that devastating charge just when they needed to. So they get to pick up a double kill, and this early advantage is going to extenuate in the spot lane, and Maiden OP making a little bit of a misstep, and, bad early game start for the side of Sun Gaming. Getting their bot lane to go down and Maiden OP. Again, we should actually mention that this is actually relatively a scaling composition for the side of Sun Gaming, and whenever your early game doesn't go well, you start to lose, and then you're going to start to lose more, and they're losing this dragon, and the tempo is very much so on the side of Freya, and let's see what they can really do with this tempo. Once they start to hit these level 6 power spikes, you know, we already see Porsche in the top lane hitting power spike for Aatrox, and, you know, once we see Kafka get the unstoppable onslaught, I believe, then they're just gonna keep going forward, and taking them down, or onslaught of shadows, sorry.
It can be a little bit challenging as Elo Terrorize here. Going to be taking a decent chunk from Dare in that mid lane, of course. Of note, this Veigar just sort of chilling for the time being, not really going to have too much early game agency on that champion, but neither does the Victor. But top side here, Porsche with that level 6 now available. The Cage will do a great job of making sure Maiden OP can stay alive. Granted, there is no flash available now, but you can see this York has a really tough lane state there. It's getting well, it was frozen for a little bit there, but gonna start to push back in. Porsche being level 6, gonna do great things on that champion. But yes, gold lead right now, about 2,000 gold in favor of the side of Ragnarok Esports. Freya, they're looking for a little bit more. Porsche now level 7 to the level 5 of Maiden OP. There is dive potential. You can see Red Malikofta coming up on that top side of the map here. A devastating charge going to come down. Onslaught of Shadows there, and the last Rampage stack. They're going to give the kill over to Porsche. So overall, really good plays on that top side of the map. That you could see that telegraphed from a mile away.
Yeah, and honestly, Kafka has not backed after getting those kills and has a shit ton of gold. Excuse my language, but we have Bullet getting some nice handshakes down in the bot lane. Didn't think you would see it, but
yeah,
Lizard...
dropping the handshake. Lizard actually going to go down with a little bit of help from the bailout onto Mono there, as Lizard unfortunately going down once again in this bottom lane. Finally able to pick up that Noon Quiver, the mythic component, but you can see they're still moving forward aggressively in the jungle here, forcing Darken way out. Level 5 Volibear against the level 7 Aatrox means that you can't really take any fights, though. Dare going to try and defend that blue buff. It's not going to be so great as Dare forced the flash away. Is this Porsche moving forward so aggressively here, looking for those Darken Blade stacks there. Will not be able to find them as Dare able to get out of there with the flash. Darken going to have to give up that top side jungle as things are not looking good on this top side of the map. At 7.5 minutes into this one, it's a 4,000 gold lead for Ragnarok Esports Freya.
Yeah. Darken is really behind. Getting forced out of his jungle by another Darken. That's your brother betraying you right there. Darken really is suffering in this game. Volibear has not been able to really do much in this game. We'll have to see if he can come online once, you know, he has the Stormbringer. So we'll have to see if Darken can look for a play with this Veigar or into this bot lane potentially. You know, Veigar has the best setup for him. So, you know, trying to do something with Dare. But, you know, we just saw Dare have to burn their flash. So the ability for playmaking is getting really shut out here, and we're gonna really have to see if Sun Gaming Cosmic can turtle it out and try to accrue some advantage after an amount of time. Maybe they can get lucky. They can get the what do you call it? The bounty. There you go. You get the bounty gold. Maybe collect the turret plate here or there. Potentially, we could see Aatrox leaving this top lane at some point, so Maiden OP can split push effectively, but, you know, Maiden OP is behind on getting that Hull Breaker. They had to rush the Bamboo's Vest into the Aatrox, so Maiden OP is not too happy about not being able to get that split push prowess on just yet, but Kafka...
Yeah, Dare actually going to get knocked out of that Event Horizon, looking really tough as Onslaught of Shadows almost up off of cooldown. They won't even need it as Elo Terror is able to pick up that kill onto Dare. And if we look at the individual gold, as you said, yeah, a lot of gold on Red Malikov. They're up about 1,500 gold. Gold leads on both of those bot laners there, about 1,600 gold between the two members. And on that top side, almost 1,100 just individually. But, oh, Bullet going to be moving forward. There goes the Berserk on to Lizard. It's not going to do a whole lot of damage, but Stormbringer comes down on over the top there. Bullet not going to be able to pick up a kill with that bailout active there. Good Janisek away. Almost actually gets Lizard killed, but Elevate just going to keep that Caitlyn as far away from safety as possible as the stunned bot lane able to strike back with 2 kills. Granted, they do go over to the Volibear instead of the Jinx, which might not be the best situation.
Still something on the board for Sun Gaming. You know, getting a successful bot lane play can just mean a world of difference because it allows them to turtle out the game potentially just a little bit longer because they do want to try to, again, scale. They need to get this Jinx and this Janna. You know, they got the assist gold, a little bit of money their way. Not, you know, the best situation, but, you know, Kafka is actually still trying to really take over this game, and eventually Kafka is going to, you know, run over this Jinx or run over anything that's in their way because they just picked up the Rift Herald. There's a Cloud Dragon. They've got their tier. They're going to be able to back soon enough for a hybrid Chem Tank. I forgot the name. The Turbo Chem Tank. So soon enough, we're gonna have to see if Kafka can accelerate this game to where they just keep smashing them down, and you know, really don't want to get turtled out right now, because I think Sun Game and Cosmic have a potential chance of coming back in this game after just that little bot lane kill, but we'll see if Kafka can make something happen about it.
Yeah, Kafka definitely trying to make sure that doesn't happen. You can see going to be charging in under that tower. Still has that onslaught of shadows. The handshake actually going to land there. They're going after Elevate, but Lizard able to pick up a kill onto Mono as it ends up going all poorly. Bullet didn't put the bailout on top of Mono in time, so unfortunately that's going to be a kill going over to that Jinx. And just as we expected, that dive may go poorly, now all of a sudden this Dragon pressure might be kiltering over to the side of Stun Gaming Cosmic, as they're able to get a really good event horizon to get some damage down to Elo Terrorize.
Freya was so focused on going forward in that play that they just forgot all about Mono. It was like, hey guys, I'm getting shot at here. There's some rockets coming in my face, and Mono just gets shot down, and Kafka and Bullet didn't really get to help them out in any way because they were looking so far forward into the play going really well, and we could tie these guys. But Lizard going forward, realizing that, you know, the only way out is forward, and he picks up the solo kill. Well, yeah, in a way a solo kill for themselves, and Bullet is here. They're looking at Dragon for both teams right now. Big Dragon contest right here. Yorick is actually here for the fight, not split pushing.
Yeah, and you can see that with the current status of this sort of fight here, you can see Porsche has joined into the fight as well. Bullet's already taken half of their health bar just from the Maiden. Dare's going to be coming in from the side, but here comes the hostile takeover. It's going to lead to one kill at least, but the fight is erupting here. Porsche's on that side untouched. Darkin picks up a double kill, but it might not be worth it as Porsche picks up their own double kill. Darkin trying to chase forward, picks up the triple kill onto Red. Malai Kofta, but it's a triple kill for Porsche as well, and Lizard now forced to run for the hills here. It's a 4-for-3 in the fight thus far. Lizard doesn't have a way out here. Porsche picks up the quadra kill on the Darkin Blade, and while Darkin picks up 3, you can't beat the actual Darkin Blade in this case as they pick up 4.
Yeah, Kaz playing a Darkin is this Volibear right now, trying to do the best for his team, but you know, they can't beat this early lead that Porsche's accrued in the top side, and Maiden OP didn't really do much in that fight. Not sure why they were feeling so forced into contesting that Dragon particularly. It's just a Mountain Dragon. Could have just gave it away. Could have got some plates in the top side, and even potentially some bounties aren't yet available because bounties are very weird, but you know, could have got something down. But just a team fight win for the side of Freya, and really off the back of Porsche, you know, cleaning that up really well. They did miss a lot of crucial ultis. I believe Bullet did hit the R on Renata, the hostile takeover, but didn't really look like it could do that much in that fight. As you said earlier, there's not a lot of auto attackers, you know, Lizard and Darkin being probably the best to hit with the hostile takeover. We do see a rocket going out just to stop the Caitlyn recall.
Just an annoying rocket there to drop.
Dare.
Ooh, yeah, Dare's in trouble. There's that. Elo
picks up the blue buff. It's giving it away right to the enemy.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate series of events, but on this bottom side of the map, Lizard and Elevate are able to get one plate at least as it expires, so they're starting to find some avenues back into this game, but Porsche is a very big monster on that top side of the map right now, 6-0-1 on the Aatrox. And while you've got this 5-2 Volibear, I don't know if a 5-2 Volibear really equates to the same sort of fear level as Porsche on this Aatrox. But of course, moving forward here, level 11 Aatrox to level 8 of Maiden OP. Porsche just going to be able to dash over with that third proc of the Darkin Blade. That is 7-0 now on the Aatrox, so very scary champion as Elo Terrorize is trying to proxy here. Darkin is hiding in the bush. I don't think they realize that they're the ones getting caught out here. This is going to be a little bit of an engage coming down, but Elo Terrorize has more than enough damage to make this happen. Darkin going to be taking a decent amount of damage. Has the Stormbringer to try and get out of there, but is going under their own tower. Does not matter. Red Malai Kofta going to be able to pick that one up, as well as 3 members for Ragnarok Esports Freya on that top side of the map. They're going to lose first tower mid lane. They lose that tower in the bottom lane as well. Lose the top tower, and this gold lead has ballooned up to 9,000 gold.
And that's exactly what you want to see for the side of Freya. After a crazy team fight happening like that, that's exactly what they wanted. They wanted a crazy team fight and to cause chaos in this early game so that Sun Gaming Cosmic can't really turtle. And made it OP, again, so weak on this Yorick. Does have 1.2 million mastery points, but playing this matchup looks way too difficult. And, you know, 7-0 Aatrox really got out of hand, really got out of control, and it's been on, could be the determining factor in winning.
Oh, mid and OP pulled back by those infernal chains. Really scary for a second there. Now Darkin trying to start this fight. Buddy, you do not want to be taking that one, as Red Malaikofta as well going to take the engage here. Darkin is knocked back out of the quadruped form there. Porsche going to be moving forward, looking to try and keep Darkin alive, but unfortunately Dare unable to keep the stun gaming boss alive. Red Malaikofta, though, will end up going down. Dare able to stay alive, as it ends up just being the 1-for-1. Dare ends up getting a little bit of a better payout on that at the end of it, getting a little bit more AP. But on this bottom side of the map here, Bullet and Mono are just shredding down this tier 2. They do not care about what Lizard has to offer. Actually, Lizard going to be taking a big chunk of damage just from the headshot. Bullet now walking forward aggressively, going to try and drop down that hostile takeover. It's going to be Lizard trying to fight their own Janna, but it will just be the Monsoon to keep him alive. It is a trade back tower for the kill onto Bullet, but I think you take that trade as well.
Definitely. We'll have to see if Freya from here, you know, they're controlling so much of the map right now. You know, right now they actually are taking a bit of a break on the map. You know, they just got the kill on Bullet. Everybody's resetting, coming back into lane. But we'll have to see how Freya is going to be able to knock down these next couple of turrets or make these next couple of plays really impactful. They have the dragons already stacked up. It's about a minute. We already see Kafka on top of this Rift Herald, and it's going to be really hard to contest and try to teamfight this, but it looks like Sun Gaming Cosmic are going to try and fight this dragon or this Rift Herald with no real advantage on their side. They just have a little bit of number advantages, but look, here comes all of Freya right now. They're ready for the fight. Yeah,
Freya looking for that fight. Onslaught of Shadow is going to be coming forward, and Dare's just going to be removed out of the equation from the get-go here. Elo Terrorize able to drop down a Chaos Storm, chunking Elevate down to half, forces the flash out of the Janna as well, so going to just be the one kill picked up, but it is a key member. Dare going to be taken off the Rift here, as Freya doing a great job with these rotations. These macro movements are impeccable coming through from them, as a 10,000 gold lead now erupting at the 18-minute mark as they go on Soul Point, potentially with this Ocean Dragon, and looks like Darkin's just giving it up.
Yeah, and honestly, I want to talk about how Freya has been doing with this Renata. Bullet has been, you know, actually, it's not been the bailout. It's been a lot of handshake show, and Porsche 2v1, let's see if Aatrox can do it.
This is a 3v1 for Porsche. Might not fancy their chances quite yet here, but some pretty big heals coming through on these Darkin Blade procs. Darkin gonna chase over the wall, flash for flash there, as the Aatrox is somehow able to stay alive for the time being here. Bullet throwing the hostile takeover the wrong way, ends up standing still and is taken down. Meanwhile, Porsche still kiting them out in a 3v1. Will actually be able to stay alive as Darkin gets trapped up. Stormbringer not available. Porsche stays alive, protects the 1,000 gold shutdown. On the flip side of the map, though, Bullet just firing the wrong way.
For a noble cause, Bullet went down, so they couldn't get the dragon at all. Couldn't get anywhere near the dragon. And, you know, Bullet, very, just a little bit of a misplay, a little bit of fun with the game that you're having. Porsche, you know, being able to keep that 1,000 gold shutdown, very big. In a 3v1 scenario, definitely a good thing. So they pick up the dragon, they still have this Rift Herald to go through, and we're actually seeing a potential catch here down on Elo Terrorize, but who's getting caught out, we'll see.
Elo Terrorize is trying to chase down Dare here. There is no Event Horizon. Just going to flash forward to try and land the burst. Dare actually going to get the heal from the Monsoon. Will it be enough? Chaos Storm is still ticking. The last tick will not be able to take them down. Elo Terrorize now in a little bit of a hairy situation as Marin OP fighting 1v3 on that top side. This time, Porsche is the one to carry around those friends, as Red Malaikofta able to pick up a kill as Dare stays alive on the bottom side somehow, some way, despite being one tick away from death. They do take down Elo Terrorize on the Victor, who has now very fittingly picked up that Shadow Flame to prevent that shield from being the saving grace again.
And yeah, we're seeing Porsche and Kafka really carry this game and try to extenuate all their leads, and Kafka keeps going forward. He doesn't care about these turrets. He's popped the Herald top, and we have Mono and Bullet here shooting down this turret, whittling it down. So close to taking it down. They're taking turrets on two sides of the map. Once again, we saw them taking it in top and bot. Now they're taking it in top and mid. They can't stop all this aggression that's coming out from the side of Freya. And here's another turret for the mid. And they have 3 minutes until Ocean Soul for the side of Freya. So it's getting really tough for the side of Sun Gaming Cosmic to really do anything in this game. We're going to have to see where they're going to make something happen. They have the bounties. You know, Yorick still doesn't have a Mythic or his Hullbreaker at all yet completed. Can't really even match Porsche in the side lane if they wanted to. We see Darkin having a majority of the gold, the lion's share, you know, having the Thornmail and the Iceborne, but there's not many auto attackers actually on the side of Freya. You know, Aatrox has cast a Q, so is Hecarim. You know, Caitlyn, you got Caitlyn to auto attack you, Volibear, but you know, when you're behind, you only have the Thornmail to just try to dish something out, but definitely not going to be enough. We are seeing Jinx hit a little bit of a power spike with our items. Does have the Rapid Fire and the Gale Force, so potentially could be looking for some resets, but really, we're just seeing Freya really take over this game, and it's a great way to watch what Freya is doing and playing this game. Getting so much objective domination, and I want to talk a little bit about how Sun Gaming Cosmic has taken potentially too many fights with this Yorick and this late game composition. They're taking too many fights, and all those fights are not going their way, and it really could be what could end the game for them. But Kafka getting a little bit aggressive there, showing them that, yeah, I'm this 5-2 Hecarim with my Death Stance and my Turbo Chem Tank already completed. I could probably take all you guys on.
Yeah,
you know, especially with a bailout, so.
Red Malai Kafka just feeling really confident with themselves right now. You know, 5-2-7. They've had a great game thus far. They've been able to get the upper hand on Darkin. Really, the only sort of downfall has been some of these Renata ultimates that have gone a little bit wider, only landed onto one person. Of course, can't really fault Bullet for that. It's a new champion. What do you expect? They don't know how to play the champion that well quite yet. All jokes aside, but you can see with Soul Point now, or Soul, spawning onto the map for the side of Ragnarok Esports, Freya Stun need to try and find something. What's sort of their avenue back into the... We'll get back to that as Darkin. Getting chased down, will be able to get out alive. What's sort of the avenue for Ragnarok Esports, or for Stun Gaming to get back into this game?
Yeah, Stun Gaming, they just kind of lose because they already have the Baron. They don't really have a good way to wave clear out this Baron, honestly. So... You know, we are seeing Elo Terrorize actually reduce the pressure. We're going to see a little bit of a... What they're trying to do is they're trying to make picks, but their composition is not made for picks. Your best pick champion is the Vigar. Well, there he goes. Let's see if they can get one.
It's going to be a double flash, actually, from Mono and Bullet to get out of there. Elo Terrorize is going to block up that Super Mega Death Rocket, but Elevate now taking a bunch of damage here. The Chaos Storm actually almost outburns them as Mono able to take down Dare. Elevate going to be able to stay alive with a well-timed stopwatch, but Darkin now taking a lot of damage. Stormbringer going to be able to bring them out of there. Red Malai Kafka burning down from their own Death's Dance. That's going to be an interesting hostile takeover. Just going to be Darkin autoing his own minions there for a little bit, but ends up being a couple, or at least one kill there picked up by the side of Ragnarok Esports Freya, and they should be able to secure an inhibitor in this mid lane, possibly a tower on that top side of the map, as well as the Ocean Soul.
I mean, again, if I had to think about any outs for the side of Sun Gaming Cosmic, it would probably be this Jinx trying to get her ahead, but, you know, Maiden OP has to flash away from the level 15 Aatrox, taking your inhibitor. Whole team's around him. Bullet is here to help him out, but looks like they're going to get caught out because Porsche didn't really need that help, I don't think. Could have got out in that play.
Yeah, you can see Bullet, is going to fall down as well, but Mono taking a decent chunk of damage here. Lizard trying to flash forward, trying to find a little bit more. They're actually going to be able to pick that one up as well, so a nice little payday there for Lizard at the end of that play. Able to pick up 2 kills, but at what cost? Your Ocean Soul, your mid inhibitor. It's a small cash out compared to what the side of Ragnarok Esports Freya have been able to pick up in the last 3 minutes.
Yeah, Mono and Bullet are feeling real good about the rest of their comp in this game. They're Aatrox and Hecarim. They're just like, you know what? We can take a death. You guys are carrying. You'll win the game on it anyway. But if you make too many mistakes like that, Lizard could potentially get out of control. And we'll have to see if Lizard can pick up potentially the Infinity Edge. And if Infinity Edge comes online, or what do you call it? The Runaan's Hurricane, potentially just to wave clear and continue to stack up minions, then it could look really bad. But Darkin, you're not allowed to farm right now. This is not the portion of the game to be farming.
This isn't your jungle anymore. Portia's going to jump over that wall. Darkin Doesn't have the Stormbringer
Dare.
up quite yet. Dare is dead as Elo Terror is able to pick that one up. You can see the Fear coming down onto Darkin, just waiting for that ultimate cooldown. He's going to be able to pick that up in time, but now Elevate has joined the fight. I think against their own good judgment. Maiden OP going to be pulled back as well. Here comes the hostile takeover. There it goes onto a couple of minions. Not sure if that's the play, but Porsche still moving forward, looking for some more avenues of approach, but looks like that avenue is going to be towards that inhibitor as they find a couple of picks, they find a couple of kills, and this could be game number 1 going the way of Ragnarok Esports. Freya, first tower, or the first Nexus tower will fall there. Going to be the second one now under siege, but it looks pretty much set in stone here. The side of Stun Gaming Cosmic did not have the answers for Ragnarok Esports Freya this time around. Second Nexus tower going to fall as well. Stun's coming down. Bullet taking a decent chunk of damage. Will be able to stay alive, but a couple of kills already picked up in this fight. Right, Malai Hofta going to be taken down here. Actually, it's going to be a little bit of a bailout for the time being, but once it's done,
does get shut down in the end.
Yeah, it's going to be the Nexus exploding in favor of Ragnarok Esports Freya.
Yeah, they had the Soul, they had the Baron, they had so much control over that game, and honestly, I would like to even mention that's, you know, we saw Bullet miss a lot of those hostile takeovers, but what we mentioned about Renata being able to objective control like crazy, that was a very early Soul, you know, around a 25-minute, 24-minute Ocean Soul to be completed. You know, they're already winning the game, but, you know, definitely MVP goes to Porsche being in those fights. Definitely dominated. Maiden OP was against the, you know, 1 million mastery points, but he's like, give me the Aatrox, which I do believe was picked last in the draft. You know, Renata and Aatrox were picked last in the draft. Did see the Yorick pick, so able to actually no, I believe I'm not sure which one was the counter pick, if Aatrox or Yorick was, but you know, Porsche's Aatrox looks so fire in that game. The Darkened Blade was swinging left, right, and center, and not a whole lot that Sun Gaming Cosmic could do, but very good showing for Freya. You know, Hecarim on Kafka definitely looked really dominant as well. Bot lane looked really dominant in the early game. They had a little bit of missteps, so didn't really look like too much. Elo Terrorize, you know, kind of like a more subdued player, but filled their role in some ways. You know, had a little bit of catch outs, but you know, Dare and Elo Terrorize, I felt like they were playing their own little boxing match against each other, picking out each other from here and there. So, you know, fun game 1 and a good win for Freya.
We'll have to see if they're able to repeat that performance in game 2. Just before we head to break here, what does Stun Gaming Cosmic need to do to get back in the series?
I mean, Stun Gaming Cosmic, they could potentially switch around their... I think for that last game, it was just a matter of how they played it out. I think their composition was good. It's just they, you know, made it OP, got too aggressive, and was in that dragon for way too long. They needed to turtle. They needed to scale and try to play back and not get too aggressive or get too de-aggroed by what Freya was doing. So I would like to see them draft potentially something that can survive a mid-game and not really have to get to that late-game scaling point. So hopefully Sun Gaming Cosmic could draft something a little bit more mid-game focused, is what I'd say.
We'll be able to see if they're able to sort of reassess their situation and reevaluate what worked and what didn't work. We will be back with game 2 between Ragnarok Esports Freya versus Stun Gaming Cosmic. Ragnarok Esports trying to make this a quick 2-0. We'll be right back after this break. And welcome back to more Style Esports Season 10 playoffs action here between Stun Gaming Cosmic and Ragnarok Freya. Ragnarok Freya took a very convincing Game 1 victory, but Stun Gaming Cosmic going to be coming back with a little bit of a vengeance here. Rare Atom, of course, alongside Proxio here as we get into Draft 4 Game 2 here. And that Game 1, pretty cut and dry, a very good game from Ragnarok Freya.
Yeah, and I do always like to see a game 2 because you get to see the adaptation from the, the losing team is like, okay, what do we do around this draft? And, we're already seeing that Hecarim. We saw the Amumu hover, but they're really floating on that Hecarim, and they were just, maybe we have something that could work around it. And seeing the adaptation in a game 2 where you just lost is really going to be exciting for me. We did actually see a pretty decent performance from the side of Lizard. Actually, they had a really kind of weak early game, I would say. Jinx kind of suffering in that early game unless you can really have somebody else to extenuate her strengths. Let's say like your Leona, your Nautilus. But, Freya, they're feeling fine with those same old bands with the Trundle, Lux, and Kled. So we'll have to see if they go back to the same picks, and Porsche's Aatrox is back again on the table. Pick whatever you want. Pick that Yorick, pick your I believe they banned Set, so maybe they don't want to play against a Set against this, so that could be an option for Cosmic right now. You can ult away the Aatrox. He does build a relative amount of HP, so this Aatrox first pick could be, flex. Oh, definitely, they were just, kind of flexing, showing that, we got 7-0 on this, but we're just going to go ahead, back off, take this Ezreal. They did do pretty well with the Ezreal Renata, but feeling really comfortable with that Hecarim on Kafka. Kafka, great performance from the side of for the side of him, so definitely another champion you want to pick up again.
Yeah, the Hecarim did fantastic things for them, and switching away from the Caitlyn into the Ezreal this time may mean that they are looking for maybe a different bot lane pairing. Maybe they weren't content with that Renata Caitlyn per se. Granted, they did have themselves a very safe and secure game. This hover is a little bit odd off the table, though. The Poppy... No, it's going to be the Volibear picked up once again as Stun Gaming Cosmic sort of just going with a little bit of the salty run back here. They've picked that Jinx up. They're picking the Volibear up once again. And will they have a true answer this time around? Is this just sort of them saying our execution was poor that game, or potentially was it some of the choices that they made? Looks like they're going to opt away from it, picking up the Veigar in this rotation, as the Soraka is the hover and the lock-in here for Elevate in that bottom lane. Could technically go mid lane, but very likely, knowing this team, going to be going to that support position.
Yeah, and honestly, if they were Freya, we just see Renata pick last game. I like Soraka into Renata. It counters a little bit of what Bailout wants to do. You have to get that takedown, and Soraka just heals them up so they can't get that takedown. So, could put the Silence Field underneath them, but, you pick the Soraka first, and there's an answer. Blitzcrank, really good answer into a majority of enchanters. You get that hook, you take him down. We actually saw Bullet do really good on getting a lot of more handshakes than anything else on Renata's kit, so takes the Blitzcrank, and Blitzcrank Ezreal in the bot lane looking pretty decent. They do lose in that range department. Jinx and Soraka can't poke them out, but if Blitzcrank lands that really good hook, the thing I will say is that Ezreal doesn't have great follow-up. He's going to land a Q, he's going to maybe land a W onto whoever Blitzcrank pulls. You're going to have the initial damage from Blitzcrank's pull and a little bit of that, but after that, you don't have much burst, so you're really counting on multiple pulls, or, Ezreal poking them out beforehand. So we'll have to see how Freya plays this bot lane. Played a very good bot lane last game, and, I really did like the Renata pick because you saw how many, she offers so much for Hecarim, I think. When Blitzcrank, it's not so much in the sense of, she had the bailout, she has the shield, she has hooks, she has team fight capability, and Hecarim loves all of that. But Blitzcrank, pick champion. he's known for his Rocket Fist, and we're gonna have to see if they have any other pick champions for the side of Freya. But yeah, Sun Gaming Cosmic trying to run it back, taking that Jinx Volibear, banning away the Fizz Ahri, looking more towards the mid lane. Could you see another victor pick here again for the side of Freya? But let's see what this draft has to give to us.
I think that's going to be the main answer to keep an eye on. The Gwen is going to get locked in here, so Porsche this time saying, I'm perfectly fine blind picking my matchup in the top side of the map. Granted, Porsche had a very good game against Maiden OP there on that top side in the York versus Aatrox matchup. We're hearing from Twitch chat that Aatrox, not necessarily the best matchup into the York, but we wouldn't be able to tell that from what we saw. But the Shen seems to be the hover here for the side of Stunned Gaming Cosmic. Maiden OP trying to contribute a little bit more in the team setting this time around. That is going to get locked in here against that Gwen, and we've got ourselves two different playstyles coming out from that top side this time. Gwen really good at fighting those 1v1s, being able to do some real damage to Shen, and Shen just wants to kind of get the hell out of there and move around the map, as they're going to be hovering her signature Anivia pick here. But yeah, Proxio, this top lane matchup has some nuance that I think needs to be mentioned.
I mean, I'm looking at Shen Soraka right now. I'm looking at Lizard, and I'm feeling like Lizard's like all the cards are placed on his table. If we're talking about the matchup between Shen and Gwen, you know, Shen has a little bit of, you know, again, perfect word, nuance. Shen can counteract Gwen's auto attacks, and she's a very heavy auto attack based champion. All of her abilities, besides her Q and R, enable her auto attacks in a way, and you know, her passive too. But Shen has the W to just negate that. But seeing this Anivia and Cassiopeia matchup in the mid lane has me a little bit more excited, because I like, again, the pick. That's what I was really looking forward to. Right now, I'd say I like Sun Gaming Cosmic's composition a lot, because I like having the cards on Lizard. Lizard was actually having a really decent performance, even though the game went negatively for them. Lizard still could potentially get excited and go really crazy and pop off. Anivia and Volibear on the same team, that's a really good dive composition, actually, because you can set up the wall and Volibear can Stormbring right on top of them, and then Anivia just has all this crazy damage flattening them out. And Freya, I feel like their composition's a little bit like they want to do too many things. They have the Ezreal there for poke, they have the Blitzcrank there for pick, they have the Cassiopeia and Hecarim there, and Gwen, I'd say, for sustained fighting. So I guess Freya's more of a sustained fighting, you know, we can out damage you in a long team fight, but Sun Gaming Cosmic is more like, we're gonna taunt you. Well, we'll say we're going to put a wall behind you, we're gonna stun you with Volibear, and then we're gonna just knock you over with the Jinx and etc. damage after that. So really liking Sun Gaming Cosmic's composition here, and we'll have to see if this Gwen can actually take on the Shen, but I don't think she really can. I think Shen has too much defense in his kit to really, you know, let Gwen do anything crazy to him like how Porsche did in Game 1 with the Aatrox.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of what is going to come through is this Anivia needs to be a threat come that mid game, and Anivia offers you a lot of zone of control in a lot of the ways that Veigar can't offer you that zone of control, with a little bit less sort of oomph behind it. It's a lot more sustained damage. You need to land your combos on this champion, and especially when you're fighting against a Blitzcrank, against a Gwen, a Cassiopeia, there's a lot of ways for the side of Ragnarok Esports Freya to engage that fight. Of course, there's a lot more safety this time around, though. You've got the Soraka Witch, you've got the Stand United to come through, so Stunned Gaming Cosmic, in a lot of ways, having a more reactive team composition this time around than what we saw last game, where they sort of lived and died by how that York did in a lot of ways.
And what you're talking about with the Anivia being that like more so mid game thing, you know, everything kind of gets thrown at the table if Blitzcrank gets a hook. But again, I look at Freya's composition for, let's say Blitzcrank lands a hook. Who's going to do some crazy burst damage to him? Is it going to be Hecarim? Nah, sustained fighter. Gwen? Nah, sustained fighter. Cassiopeia? Nah, sustained fighter. I mean, you have the options to potentially like layer, you know, let's say Gwen has, best case scenario, Gwen already has her stacks of her Q already up, snips of them, you know, does all that true damage after Blitzcrank lands a hook. But, you know, I'll say that they don't have a lot of map terrain scaling. You know, Anivia, the only champion that has terrain scaling is the Shen. So if Blitzcrank lands a hook and it's into all of his team, unlikely that they're going to be able to get away from that situation, even though it is a sustained, you know, all these other sustained damage like champions on the side of Freya, you know, still more than likely the hook will potentially kill somebody. But if it's Shin and he's standing in the front, and Volibear, he does have the R, so there's potential and options in Soraka, Shin. They could save whoever is getting hooked as well, but we'll have to see if Blitzcrank can actually really be that monkey wrench for the side of Freya, because that's what I'm really liking the most out of Freya's composition, besides all the sustained fights that they're potentially going to be able to take. So I'm curious to see if any, we'll see Kafka get aggressive into this jungle matchup again. You saw them getting into Dark and Jungle a bunch in the last game, so we'll have to see if Kafka can have his lanes push and then everybody go into Darken's jungle and just go mess up what they want to do. So looking at Kafka a little bit this game as well.
I think that it's definitely something to consider when you look at this composition from Ragnarok Esports Freya, that they seem to be playing very comfortably here. They don't need to necessarily force anything apart from Blitzcrank hooks onto someone if they want to make anything happen. They can also play reactive in a lot of their own ways. The Cassiopeia Petrifying Gaze can come through as a reactive tool. There's a lot of ways that you can sort of hold off on your engages until the right time. But as for this draft as a whole, Proxio, just going to grab your prediction once again. Who do you think is going to be taking Game 2 here after seeing what we saw in Game 1?
I know. I really like how Freya played Game 1, so that's like where my heart leans towards. But I like compositionally the side of Sun Gaming Cosmic, so I really like that Shin Soraka Jinx combo of, Jinx could be all you need to just win an entire fight, and they have decent ways for them to extenuate that with Volibear and Anivia, because setting up Jinx with the stuns from those two champions sets her up so much better to get resets and take down your whole entire team. But, Porsche, they have that survivability. They have a little bit of, they're tough to kill. Hecarim can just run away. Gwen can just, she's immune. Ezreal, Classica running away. Cassiopeia, Petrifying Gaze could be really debilitizing. So it's a little bit up in the air. It's really determined on how the players play it. Execution based for the side of Freya is what I'm looking at, and compositionally wise, I'm loving Stun Gaming Cosmic's composition.
We'll see if that ends up being the case this time around, but of course we're going to head to a short break and we'll find out if Ragnarok Esports Freya make sure that we can go to bed a little bit earlier tonight, or Stun Gaming Cosmic are going to extend our night and series just a little bit longer. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Style Esports. And welcome back to more Style Esports playoff action here with a little bit of a level 1 cheese here coming through from the side of Ragnarok Esports Frey here. Rocket grab not going to land as wow, we get right into the action, so to speak there. Rare Atom alongside Proxio once again as Ragnarok Esports Frey definitely trying to close out this series with a nice clean 2-0.
Yeah, we see the Blitzcrank trying to stick around in this jungle, trying to land potentially another lucky rocket grab, but seeing the double tier start for the side of Elo, Terrorize, and Mono. So scaling is kind of what they want to go for. They want to get to that little bit of that mid game, big fight action to happen. So nothing too unstandard in the terms of Rune. We actually see Kafka going for the Conqueror rather than the Phase Rush. We saw Phase Rush in the last game, but taking Conqueror this game because they're winning the fights. They could win them even harder with this Conqueror. And looks like junglers are going to start on the same sides. And that's Bullet for you. Stick it around.
Bullet is a piece of crap. That's all I'm going to say there as Porsche made an OP already dropping down some of that damage. Of note, the side of Ragnarok Esports Freya might as well be called Ragnarok Esports Conqueror here. 4 Conquerors for their team there, as it's just the one for Darken on the flip side. But overall, it looks like we are going to get some pretty standard stuff, apart from Darken getting the clear slowed up quite a bit with that rocket grab. We'll have to keep our eye on what these junglers really do with their pathing, as both of them seem to be looking to full clear once again.
Yeah, they're looking like they're actually, wanting to path to this top lane matchup. Porsche doesn't have flash, so could be a potential volatile, easy gank target for Darken to set up into. And, Porsche doesn't really have any way, but Porsche is getting really aggressive here. Does have the Ignite minute OP, does have to step away. We are seeing once again this bot lane losing out on the push with 2 range champions, so Bullet and Mono being able to push them in early on, and looks like from what we're seeing, the execution of it's only 2 minutes in, but the execution of Freya is pretty on point. They're winning their lanes that are they're already pushing in, but Darken is not really responding to all this pressure, just clearing out the jungle. So
Darken can't reply to the pressure in a lot of ways because their clear was slowed up just a little bit by the fact that the red buff was hooked over the wall there. But Bullet just being a little bit of a thorn in the side means that this clear is going to come through, the full clear, in just around 315 from this Hecarim. Means that they're going to get first dibs on this Scuttle Crab on the top side, and they may be level... Yeah, they're going to be level 4, as Darken only going to be level 3 here. Did smite that crab already. Looks like they will be able to get that, so just by virtue of clearing that Gromp a little bit quicker, but still down in the experience department means that this Hecarim has a lot more agency around the map, although it's going to be hard to find any avenues to make that stick right now with all of those lanes pushed in.
Yeah, we're looking at just a relatively chilled out early game and not too much action to be happening, but again, super explosive when champions at level 6. That's, ultimates are... it makes me think of like Overwatch games when it's like I'm just waiting for my ultimate to come up and then I actually do something. So, well, League of Legends is definitely a different game. You can have pop-offs early, but I am liking to see what Kafka and Bullet are doing right now. They're getting into the jungle and they're going to look for Darken or this mid lane gank onto Dare, possibly blow some summoners, but really exciting to see what Freya's doing right now.
Yeah, Bullet's coming in for this one. They're going to be able to find the Power Fist there. The ground, the Miasma, actually going to prevent Dare from even flashing to get out of there. Okay. And Elo Terrorize, with absolutely no mana left in the tank, going to be able to pick that last little bit of damage up with the auto attack. So first of all, going over to the side of Ragnarok Esports Freya once again.
Nasty combo, actually. Love the Miasma on top of Bullet. And, Dare, you had time to flash. You saw the Blitzcrank running at you, and you just got knocked up and just accepted your fate, I guess. Actually, no, they had that Miasma on them, so I don't believe they were able to flash. That was the one thing I was looking out for, to see Dare flash away, but Miasma stops you from doing any types of dashes or flashes. So
I think you just have to flash extremely early there. That's the main sort of moral of the story. Flash way earlier as soon as you see or even sniff the Blitzcrank, the the question mark ping coming from bot lane. As soon as that comes down, you're flashing away from where the Blitzcrank could be coming. But all jokes aside here, it's already an 1,000 gold lead for Ragnarok Esports Freya. A lot of that just comes through their better farming here. You can see the Ezreal up 10 CS. This Jinx not really going to be able to clean up too much of that wave. And Bullet already opting to roam around this map, really putting the pressure on to Dare in this mid lane and giving Elo Terrorize a lot more space to work with.
Yeah, we're seeing a good amount of gold already, put onto the Ezreal. He's getting his Sheen. We do see Dare have a bit of gold on themselves as well. Cassiopeia picked up her lost chapter, so the side of Freya looking really happy and confident into pressuring this dragon. Bullet is getting a little bit too far in. Could get caught out here, but we'll have to see if anything really happens. Looks like it's a really big dragon contest right now, but teams are both kind of contesting it now, but Porsche at the top.
Yeah, Porsche actually just going to use that ultimate to force Maiden OP back off of the wave. One thing to note is that Maiden OP doesn't have that level 6 yet, so Porsche does have some kill pressure. Going to go under the tower and snips away with that Ignite. Will actually go down, but it's going to be an execute as Maiden OP not able to land any damage down.
Oh, no.
You hate to see it there as Maiden OP gets nothing out of that play. Gonna miss a huge wave, gonna be forced to burn that teleport most likely if they want to get back to lane. But waiting in base here has that stand united after getting that little bit of experience from picking up or being in the area of someone dying, not even getting it.
Not the Negatron cloak made an OP, please. Oh man, I'm not a big fan of him getting the Negatron cloak. Could be spent into getting some HP, so you don't get turret dive like that. Can go towards the Spectre's Cowl, I think would be a potentially better option here. But, has opted into that choice. Still died with that Negatron Cloak in the inventory, I believe. So, really unfortunate. Lost all that CS in the top side. And Bullets is back in the mid lane.
Yeah, Bullets here pulling them back. There is the Stand United shield, but it's not going to come through in time as Maiden OP. That's a long cooldown that you expended there as...
man.
The trades up on the top side of the map are not working in favor of the Shen. 20 CS up for Porsche already as they're feeling extremely comfortable in this lane. Yeah, if you're a Dare at this point, you feel really bad about your situation. Pull actually going to come down onto Darkin here, forced to flash away as Bullet has been true with the God Hand thus far.
He is Blitzcrank emoting, laughing during these hooks too. Bullet is having a really good time. So much fun. This is what shouldn't be happening, honestly, with Lizard and Elevate. They're just allowing Bullet to get around the map, keep coming back to mid, get dared, kill Dare twice, basically. And now Elevate's trying to clear out some more, but Bullet's like in the area, kind of looking for the pick. Doesn't have really too many people around, just the Ezreal. Cassiopeia could come over, but, Porsche is actually winning this top lane matchup, which I did not think would be the case. But, Porsche, execution heavy as hell. Porsche just keeps poking Maiden OP out from the wave, and Maiden OP is like, what can I do to respond to this? And, you take a little bit of a trade, but Porsche has the ultimate.
Yeah, Porsche has that ultimate still. The last little bit of needlework going to come down. Lots of damage being traded. No Ignite up yet for Porsche, so not able to really continue that push forward, but Hecarim is on that top side of the map. Red Malakofta knows that the Spirit's Refuge is not up and available, so could potentially look for the dive if they so desire. This Shen really playing with fire by sticking around. Granted, this Hecarim did walk over a ward, so there should be some information. Maiden OP, though, going to try and go in for that taunt flash there. Will be able to get the trade kill, and a big shield coming down as well, but Red Malakofta still will pick up that kill, so it is a 1-for-1, although Maiden OP makes the best of a really bad situation.
Yeah, Maiden OP is still losing out on a big wave, and, look at the CS difference. 36 to 71 has been losing waves just because of how much Porsche's pressure has been put onto him, and that's where I really look at Darkin. Where has Darkin been in these last couple of fights? He's been getting caught out by Bullet, pulling him away, and so Darkin has not been able to really help out these lanes that are struggling, Dare or Maiden OP, or even try to extenuate the lead that Lizard and Elevate have. Or
Bullet, he's mid lane once again.
He doesn't stop.
The Frostbite gonna miss as well. Bullet waiting on that rocket grab. Elo Terra is not on the same page, but it will not matter as Elevate trying to come to the rescue at the last second. It's not gonna be enough. Elo Terrorize picks up their third kill of the game. Bullets picked up their third assist of the game, and all onto this Anivia, but now Bullet actually going to be caught out just a little bit here. The Shen trying to do a decent chunk of damage. The rocket grab going to land. I'm not sure if you're going to really follow up on that, but it is a third kill picked up for the Casio, as the Rift Herald is also picked up by the side of Ragnarok Esports Freya here. So 4,000 gold in the lead here. All right, Malakoff looking for Maiden OP here. Onslaught of Shadows going to come down. Porsche, do they have the needlework up available? They will have it soon. The Ignite has already come down here. Ren Malakoff are going to not be taking up that towers. It's Porsche who picks up that kill. Really well played to pick that one up.
And on the opposite side of the map, some game Cosmic are able to pick up a dragon, but Bullet has made this game his, has the Moby boots, and is getting caught out at the same time.
Bullet dies here?
Bullet
but at what
goes
cost?
Down.
The top
but
tower.
At what cost? Top tower does go down here. You know, Mono is still scaling up a little bit, and Elo terrorizes really online. 11-minute Leandri's Torment, so Elo Terrorize is going to be able to keep putting that pressure on. Do see a little bit of a catch out down here in the bot side, but unless they can land the slows and get more Jinx damage, then...
Yeah, Super Mega Death Rocket not going to be able to land. Mono flashing away, popping that heal, as well as Porsche caught out just a little bit, but has that needlework. Will it be enough to deal with this Volibear's? Darkin's going to be so careful, but it's going to be the Stand United, and a whole bunch of healing coming through as Elevate drops the Wish as well. Somehow, some way, Mono stays alive, but Gwen from Porsche does not face the same fate. Has all... Well, actually doesn't have all 3 deaths for their team because one of those was an execute, but still, Stun Gaming Cosmic here, they're trying their darndest to stay in contention here. It just isn't enough for the time being.
See, what they did with Darkin is what I wanted to see them do with Lizard. Once Lizard gets online, and you saw how big those shields and the heals were, and Darkin healed basically up to full, I want to see them do that, but I'm not sure if they're going to be able to get the chance because Dare just keeps getting caught out again. And again, and again.
Dare keeps dying.
And again.
That's what happens. Dare has just died 4 times this game. You can see the CS gap is starting to become a canyon here. Elo Terrorize up about 50 CS. Bullet, I don't like the way this Blitzcrank is just posturing right now.
Oh, no. oh, he took the blue buff. Elo Terrorize ulted the Blitzcrank. Welcome back to Style Esports.
I said there was something shady about the way that Blitzcrank was moving.
He was like, "Yeah, I gotta do it. I'm on stream. I gotta do it." Yeah, Bullet really is like this game. I'm everyone that matters. I'm Bullet. He's loaded. Man, Bullet is giving us a good time here. I really appreciate that. So, you know, Freya, they're winning right now. They have a huge advantage, and looks like Kafka is just going to push that advantage further on.
Yeah, Kafka is on this bottom side of the map here. Ooh, the True Shot Barrage actually going to mean a decent amount as the heal ends up getting completely negated by that ultimate. Bullet has shown up with the blue buff and does a great job of landing that hook. Will get dropped. Elo Terrorize, don't worry. I will flame your support for you because I know you can't do that in game. But regardless, it is another kill picked up here. Bullet looking for that rocket grab once again. Ooh, the wall. The Crystallize not actually going to be in time. And now this Crystallize is in a really bad spot here. Miasma coming down here. Lots of damage onto Maiden OP. Burning with the Ignite as well. And it's going to be Bullet picking up that kill with their Ignite there. So unfortunately for that Anivia wall there, it kind of ended up killing.
Yeah, it did. Exactly. Kind of the pick worked in the reverse order. And, you know, Porsche has just been sitting happy up here top side. It's like Maiden OP is dead again. I'm just going to keep going split pushing. And yeah, really unfortunate start of a game for the side of Sun Gaming Cosmic. They're having a really rough series. You know, Bullet is really putting on a show. Can't really deal with Kafka. Porsche has been too dominant.
Yeah, look at the
Elo
CS.
Terrorize is having a good game because Bullet's there, so yeah.
The CS on the top half of the map here, Shen has 48 CS. Porsche has 250% of the farm that this Shen has picked up. And that is some good math on stream. That doesn't happen very often. That's what I give as my gift to Style Esports as Porsche walking forward here. Level 11 to the level 8 Volibear from Dark into level 9 Shen
Man.
from Maiden OP, and there is no chance that Maiden OP can walk up to try and farm this wave because they have to be so careful. Porsche can jump over that wall and look for a solo kill. It's that detrimental of a situation. Maiden OP going in for that minion, and now starting to face the place. Here comes the needlework coming down here. Maiden OP can't even get away from the skip and slash. 2 canceled auto attacks from Porsche, and it will force the flash out. But as we said, can't even walk up to farm those minions as Porsche continuing to seek out that flame horizon. Great flash, petrifying gaze, as they're gonna be able to get that ultimate from Maiden OP. What that means is that the Shen gonna miss out on a little bit more farm once again, but they do keep this Anivia alive somehow, some way, despite her having that that egg. She does get the Shen shield and is able to stay alive.
You know, last game we saw Mono kind of like just play Caitlyn and just hit turrets, and this game Mono has just been playing Ezreal and just CSing. You know, been part of 1 assist this game, but his team is just doing the rest. Force winning, Kafka winning, Terrorize winning, and Bullet. We've seen what Bullet can do against his own team as well.
Oh yeah,
so
he's been on point with his hooks on everything. Darken going in, going to try and get that steal, not going to be successful. Now has no real way out of there. Bullet going to be able to knock him up, but everyone has way over that wall as well. So going to be the kill going into Porsche's favor there. Flash hook forward there. Going to get silenced, but Red Malakofta is still in the area. Elevate taking a chunk of damage there from nowhere. Maiden OP trying to turn this one around, but the Ignite is on once again. That heal not really going to accomplish you a whole lot as Red Malakofta now continuing the chase. What a great hook as another one lands, and Porsche going to be able to clean that one up as Mono tosses down the tombstone. A clean 5-for-0 ace across 3 separate skirmishes as Ragnarok Esports Freya, they somehow have a bigger gold lead this game than they did last game here. Up. Math on stream is hard. 12,000 gold.
Yeah, I will say that this one has definitely gone for the side of Freya. I think Freya is definitely going to be able to win this game. Very, very uphill battle for the side of Sun Gaming Cosmic to even try to attempt to even get up, but everybody's so far ahead on the side of Freya, and they've done a great job of getting those leads. Having Bullet, you know, be cheeky and steal away the red buff, deny Darken, have Bullet come into the mid lane to deny Dare, get Terrorize and Kafka a little bit off the ground, and then after that, Kafka was able to just clear their jungle into clearing Darken's jungle, and
clearing champions.
They don't care anymore.
Yeah, Kafka just feels so confident taking this fight. Porsche has teleported in already. Maiden OP going to be taking a big chunk of damage, but Lizard going to be the first casualty of this fight. Down to the Hecarim once again. Porsche dashing forward with the snip and slash here, looking for even more damage, but it won't be enough. And yeah, I just looked over at the gold. Not only does this Gwen have about 90 CS up on Maiden OP after this wave, they also have double their gold. You can see in the jungle as well. 3,500 gold lead for the Hecarim. In the mid lane here, about 3,000 gold as well in favor of Elo Terrorize. Down in the bottom lane, 1,100 gold with this Ezreal sort of being the pacifist this game, not really able to get a whole lot done, but has been able to do their job when necessary. As this top side of the map has just been real ugly from the beginning. Yeah. Maiden OP now trying to take the fight here, but Bullet is showing up here. Will they land the rocket grab? No, it will actually not be hit there as Porsche actually forced the heal up just a little bit. Level 10 on the Shen, level 12 working on level 13 for the Gwen. So, man, 13,000 gold lead at 18.5 minutes. It's looking real grim.
Yeah, there's not a bunch of color I could bring to this unless we could talk about, you know, what Freya has been doing really well and what Freya has been doing really negatively in these games. So, you know, I think Freya, I guess the only negative thing I've seen is, you know, that Blitzcrank pull onto the blue buff, but you know,
that was a positive. What do you mean? Support lives matter.
I don't think Elo Terrorize is very happy about it. Did have to use the Cassiopeia ulti to try to secure the blue buff, but
they used it just to ult the Blitzcrank. Okay, they did that purely out of tilt. But honestly,
but he's already made out of metal. I don't know how you can turn it something that's in stone into metal. Yeah. So I would like to see what Freya really does not really excel at, because they've been winning team fights. They're really good at getting picks. You know, their laning is super dominant, but I think it's just a lot of Sun Game and Cosmic hasn't looked too, you know, their laning phase has been so difficult for them. And, you know, they're just able to keep going forward. We're just going to see Kafka run down Maiden OP. Has to use the Wish, but Kafka doesn't care. He's just going to keep going through them.
Yeah,
He's 6-0. He does
stuck.
get stopped by the wall, though. That's
he's
something
put in
that can
jail
stop them.
just for a little bit. As Flame Horizon is going to come through exactly now as 100 CS up for the Gwen over the Shen. It's been a little bit of a rough situation for Maiden OP this series just in general. First game, Porsche able to pick up a quadra kill in a fight that honestly there was no chance for Maiden OP to really join into, and now Porsche just styling on him with the 100 CS lead. But Gwen is immune, by the way, if you didn't know. They're going to start up that Baron at the 20-minute mark.
Yeah, that Baron's going to get melted and shredded down. Elo terrorized on top of this Baron. Love to see a Cassie OP doing Baron. You know, Gwen already does so much damage to it. Hasn't gotten the nerf. Actually, no, I believe she has just got a nerf on doing a little bit of monster damage, so just tiny bit of damage reduced there, but, you know, you're winning anyway. Why not win harder? Get this Baron. Yeah, if I had to look at Freya, what they do potentially that you could take an advantage of is they push a lot. Their lanes in the early game, you know, we saw Porsche and Mono and Bullet pushing in their lanes, so junglers that early game does get the recall there, so it doesn't get caught out, but potentially you could play like an early game jungler that can take advantage of that and gank those lanes that are really pushing and try to do something with that. As an answer to what Freya has been putting on, but
you know, on this bottom side of the map, Red Malik Kofta actually taking a big chunk of damage here. Dare and Darkin are finally able to link up to pick themselves up that kill. Elo Terrorizes has come down, though. Got to be careful. Does have a big Locket shield to contend with. Now is Darkin forced to get out of there. Will get some healing from Elevate on the way out, but it is a kill picked up, a shutdown. In fact, onto Red Malay Kofta is picked up by the Volibear, so not the ideal target once again, but it's something to cut into that 15,000 gold lead that Ragnarok Esports Freya have.
It's something. Yeah, it's better than nothing. Makes you feel a little bit better, but, you know, this feels very inevitable unless we have some huge blunders.
Oh, yeah, might be a big blunder here. Porsche, though, going to go on a killing spree. Big damage coming through as Anivia able to pick up a double kill, and now Mono forced to go on the run, but Porsche going to come through and snip, potentially another kill. A double kill now picked up, but no ultimate to speak of. Going to be the stopwatch used. Will they have any healing on the outset? No, as Stun Gaming Cosmic able to find themselves a very delayed ace there. It's going to be just traded back for Dare and Darkin as they start to come alive, and you know, they cut that gold lead down to only about 12,000 gold.
And you know what? League of Legends, it has comeback mechanics. And if we can see those comeback mechanics come into action, that would make this game to you a whole lot more exciting. Rather than a one-man stomp, you know, Freya made a little bit of mistakes. They don't really have the best siege.
The bench
you know,
stands.
Better at taking these skirmishy, sustained fights where they can fight them for a little bit, but you know, when they're underneath the turret, they don't really want to dive, and there's too much like CC coming out, and they're not really sure what targets they want to focus. That means Stun Gaming Cosmic can finally get something done and gets a lot of shutdown. Ooh. Shutdown money doesn't all go to Jinx, which would be really nice, but Maiden OP, unfortunately, going to get ran down.
Yeah, finally able to get a little bit of alone time to only get themselves within half of the CS of Porsche now, but it's not enough as Porsche. Red Malay Kofta just going to chase that one down on the Hecarim. They're finally able to get a little bit of space to farm, which is really good for the side of Stun Gaming Cosmic, but you know, 24 minutes into this game, still down 12,000 gold. It's a lot to contend with, and the only thing that the side of Ragnarok Esports Freya have sort of missed out on is having a effective Baron power play, as I think they ended up going relatively even on that. They got a couple of towers, but they did lose all of their members and a lot of big shutdowns going back over. They need to try and find some sort of angle to end this game at this point, as there is still the concern of scaling. There's still this Anivia who's starting to get scary on 2 items, this Jinx now on 2 items. There are still some real concerns that you have to watch out for. Of course, when you look at the flip side of the map and you look at the top side specifically, that's really where your lead is. You need to play through this Gwen and this Hecarim as this game goes on.
Yeah, and I would say for the side of Stun Gaming Cosmic, they have a better option of turtling into their base because they can wave clear with Anivia, but if Anivia goes down to Porsche, then they lose a lot.
That is exactly what's going to happen. Bullet trying to be the scumbag support once again, but a great hook going to come down. That's not scumbaggy at all as Porsche now going to try and get out of here. Will they have enough healing? Super Mega Death Rocket going to come down, dodges away from the Stormbreaker, but
man.
Porsche not going to have enough peel to be able to get out of there. The taunt going to come down onto Bullet as they're able to stall it long enough, but that's going to be mid or tower gone, top tower gone, mid inhibitor now under siege. Mono is going to potentially pick that one up. They will guarantee the top inhibitor, but 2 members down means that they aren't going to feel the confidence quite yet to go in and take that mid lane inhibitor, but it is a very solid push from the side of Ragnarok Esports Freya.
Yeah, the side of Ragnarok Esports Freya is just trying to whittle them down until they break, until they rust, until they crumble into dust. So we're really looking at Freya just eventually closing this out, really just saying, no, this entire map, it belongs to us. We're going to reset, but we're coming back. And then we're going to take this dragon, we're going to take your inhibitor, we're going to take your bot turret, and Freya will eventually try to whittle them down and close out the game. And Elevate, not sure if you want to check that Hecarim, but, you know, Hecarim does get to get that recall off. And it's going to come out of base, and here we go. I think this should be potentially the game-winning push for the side of Freya, unless another caster curse of upsets happen. But it's very unlikely that we'll see that. And, you know, we saw how Porsche was just able to run down Dare. So we'll have to see if Porsche can really run at this Anivia again, as she did get a lot of the shutdown gold, I believe, next to Jinx. So Jinx and Anivia are really the 2 largest members. Bullet, I think, trolling a little bit with that hook, but, you know, Bullet's been having fun all game, so let him keep having fun. Porsche is on the side, kind of flanking here, just split pushing a little bit, but looks like they're really just focused for the side of Sun Game Cosmic on trying to actually catch up Porsche. I was going to say, see if they were going to try to steal it, but they're not going to be able to even go try for that bounty. And looks like, yeah, they're really just waiting till they can whittle them down. We'll see if they go towards this Baron here or just try to end the game. Looks like they're going towards the Baron, but could be some pickouts here. Bullet still just running around with his Blitzcrank. Got the Platinum Chroma going on. And yeah, get Baron. Don't get it stolen by Jinx Rocket. You have Ezreal in front, so it's all good.
They should be able to secure this one, bar some sort of miracle from Darkin. He's going to be flashing in there and not in time, as Darkin now forced to try and get out of there. Will not be able to survive, as Red Malikofta just going to throw that over. Mono throwing out the True Shot Barrage just for good measure. But with that second Baron, they now are looking poised to push down the base. 16,000 gold lead for the side of Ragnarok Esports Freya, as they look to just stop messing around at this point and just end these games, as they know they've got themselves a pretty massive lead at this point. They feel confident enough to try and end this game, as going for this bottom lane here, just going for the 100% speed run here, trying to get everything and the kitchen sink.
Exactly. And again, love to see the way they play this early game. They just win their lanes. That's what it sounds like. They just win their lanes, get pushed, and they're able to throw.
Bullet gonna be pulling back in the Shen, but almost gets taken down for their actions. But now double super minion waves gonna be crashing into the base here, top and bottom under siege. Porsche gonna be tossing down all of those needles and looking for something. The hook onto the egg here, gonna be scrambling that one up. It's gonna be Eggs Benedict picked up by Mono, but True Shot Barrage gonna come down as well. Going to be another kill picked up by Porsche as they snip and slash their way in for another kill. 3 kills already picked up. Another hook going to land onto Lizard.
Bullet.
Lizard has no way back in, and Elevate going to be the only one to tell the tale of the Stunned Gaming Cosmic defeat here, as it is a clean 2-0 victory from the side of Ragnarok Esports Freya.
Yeah, and that was a very dominant. That was a stomp. I've seen that one for the game too. I love the way they played that. You know, you had one little team fight that went not your way, but you were so far ahead. Look at this gold. I mean, Bullet, I think, doesn't have more gold than everybody else on every member. You know, Darren Lizard, they did what they needed to do. But yeah, Darren got caught out way too many times in the mid lane. The Cassiopeia Blitzcrank, actually, you know, I was talking a little bit of smack earlier, saying that, you know, sustained fighter, but setting up to have a Miasma on top of the Blitzcrank, beautiful. Love that play. Definitely a combo to watch out for.
Yeah, I think it's really cool to see what sort of avenues they've found themselves to win these games, and of course going to be continuing on, I believe, into winners round 4 of their playoff bracket. Could be winner semis at this point, so looking really good for their hopes and winning the Demacia division of our Style Esports playoffs. But of course, Just a really solid series coming out from Ragnarok Esports Freya there. And Proxio, just give me sort of your main thoughts on how everything sort of ended up.
Yeah, I'm just really again. I want to look at how Freya's been playing and see all those strengths that they've just been providing because they're looking like they could go so far with how they've been playing. Been looking extremely dominant. Their picks and pools seem really wide, and they have a lot of different options, and they can even have a little bit of fun when they're winning too. So Freya's looking like a really strong team that definitely you want to keep a lot of eyes on. Just Freya's so awesome. I can't wait to see another game for them. So I think that would be all I have to say for this one, Adam.
And hopefully we will get to see some more games. In fact, we will have a game tomorrow for you on the agenda. We've got ourselves a cast. Let me just look this up really quickly. I had this ready and then I closed it off, but we will have another cast for you tomorrow with Newman and Proxio actually going to be on the call here as Brescia University going to be taking on 5 Cheese Ravioli Citrus. That one's going to be a fun matchup to keep our eye on, so we will be back tomorrow. Surprise, 2 streams in 2 days after not streaming for 3 weeks. But of course, I want to thank all of you for joining us in Twitch chat. I also want to thank my co-caster Proxio for today for the great job filling in here as well. Thank you to everyone here at Style Esports for making this work. Once again, apologies for the lack of streams, but we are working to make sure that our schedules line up just a little bit more and we can get more games casted for you. But join us tomorrow if you so desire to see another matchup of Style Esports here. But for now, that'll be it for myself and Proxio. Hope all of you have yourself a wonderful rest of your evening. Take care.
All right.